Hi, this is Max with Enlight Automotive. Today we're going to install some LED fog lights into this 2015 Honda Accord Coupe. If you've watched one of our other videos, we've already put the massive photon generator xenon HID system in this vehicle, which is a crystal white 6000K bulb. And now we're going to get rid of those pesky looking halogen fog lights by installing the Tetra Flux LED system. So when you get your Tetra Flux system, it's going to come with two bulbs and it's going to come with two driver units. The Tetra Flux system is really nice because it uses 4 high-power Cree XPG2 LEDs. So this is the second generation of the XPG LED from Cree. They're about 15 to 20% more efficient and they're brighter. All the tools that you're going to need for the installation, just a Phillips screwdriver. This is one of the easiest cars to change fog lights on, and it doesn't take very long. So let's go ahead and get started. So here we're looking at the passenger side fog light. You're going to take your Phillips screwdriver. There is a Phillips screw located right in here. Let's see if we can get, there you go. And all you have to do is loosen it, take it out. Turn the screw counterclockwise. Loosen it all the way. Let's see. And then once it's all the way loose, you can take your thumb here and pull this whole fog light bezel out, starting from the top, and then it helps to push it over towards the center of the car, and it just snaps out. Here you can see the clips on the bottom and top sides. And now all you have to do is disconnect the rear plug from the factory headlight bulb. And you can do that by pressing down on this tab here. So I'm going to disconnect that and then we'll go through the installation of the new bulb. So now that we've disconnected the fog light assembly from the vehicle, in order to remove the factory bulb, twist it counterclockwise and it'll pop right out. Very simple. Set that aside. And now, before we install the Tetra Flux unit, I just wanted to show you guys another option that we have in terms of LED fog lights for the Honda Accord. These are the Hexalite LED fog lights. These are a little bit more compact design, but they feature 6 Cree XTE LEDs. So it's a slightly different generation, I should say slightly different type of Cree LED. It's a different type of LED technology compared to the XPG LEDs, but they're arranged in a hexagonal configuration, and they're also extremely bright. Almost as bright as the Tetra Flux LEDs. These are about 900 lumens each. Okay, so now to install the Tetra Flux bulb, there's 3 prongs on here, and all you need to do is line up those 3 prongs with the corresponding 3 inside the socket. So once you do that, you might just need to wiggle it in a little bit, and then twist it clockwise to lock it in place. And that's it. So you also want to make sure that the driver is directly connected to the back of the bulb here. So you can just line up these 2 plugs, put them in, and then take this locking connector and tighten it to make sure that the 2 parts don't come, so that they don't separate. So once that's locked down, you're good to go. And now we're going to take the driver, and we want to secure this driver so it doesn't flap around while the vehicle is going over bumps or turning or anything like that. So we're actually going to mount this directly to the fog light housing. We're going to use these 2 areas here, and we're going to take a zip tie to secure the driver right here. So I'm going to do that and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so you can feed a zip tie around this lower screw here, where this lower screw mounts, and then just wrap it around the driver here and secure the wires so they're not flapping around. This is a good solid setup here, and this is where the factory headlight plug is going to connect to. So once you have this all set up, we're ready to install it back into the vehicle. So here you can see that I've connected the factory fog light socket into the supply connector of the LED system. So just make that connection there, and then feed the whole assembly back into the bumper. Try to line up the clips. You can see that there's a space here on the side, so you actually want to start with the fog light assembly slightly towards this side where my finger's pointing, and then you're going to push it to the left. So slide it in, and then push straight back. And then it's nice and snug, and then you can take the screw that goes in there and then turn it clockwise to tighten everything back up. And that's it. So here's the Tetra Flux system. Now that we've installed it and turned it on, you can see this is a very bright white light. You can go take a look at the old one here. Yeah, we don't want any of that. So the driver's side installs exactly the same as the passenger side. Just take out this screw up here, pull the assembly out, just like we did on the other side. Swap over the bulbs, secure the driver, and you're good to go. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in these LED fog lights, you can visit our website at www.enlightauto.com. We have lots of different products for the Honda Accord, including xenon HID systems. We have LED interior bulbs, LED license plate bulbs, and also LED reverse lights. And we have all these things for both the Accord Coupe and the sedan. So let's look at some of the LED fog light options that we have for the Honda Accord. We do have several options, so let's go through them one by one. From left to right, they are arranged in terms of increasing power to the LEDs. So on the left-hand side will be the L480 bulb, which is about 4.8 watts of power consumption, and all the way on the right side where we have our most powerful system. So starting with the L480 bulb here, this is good for those people who just want to color match their xenon HID system with the fog lights. These feature 4 Cree XPG LEDs. Zoom in on those there. And it also has an inverted or concave lens which helps spread out the light from the top LED here. Again, these are the lowest power consumption. They're also the cheapest, but they're really only for those people who want to get a white color in their fog lights, but they're not super concerned with the amount of light that's coming out. So next up, we have the OR600 LED. OR stands for omniradiant. That means we get 360 degrees of illumination because of the way the optical reflector in this bulb is configured. So this particular bulb features a Cree XML LED. So the XML has a much larger die size, and by die size I mean the yellow actual emitter that you see in there. It's much larger than the Cree XPG. The Cree XPG is large relative to other Cree LEDs already, but this is one of the largest ones that Cree has. So that in combination with this optical reflector gives you a radial emission pattern, which gives you a more focused output from the fog light housing or whatever housing that it's in. It's got a nice aluminum heatsink on it for good thermal dissipation, and we can actually run this LED at about 6 watts in this current configuration, which is higher and brighter than the L480 bulb. And there's also a slight increase in cost relative to the L480 bulb. So now moving on to one of our most popular bulbs here. Here we have the Hexalite LED fog light system. It's called the Hexalite because it's got 6 Cree XTE LEDs in a hexagonal configuration. It's also got an anodized CNC'd aluminum heatsink. This one runs at about 9 watts, so it is brighter and more powerful than the OR600. And this also comes with its own driver, which is not shown here, but it is similar to the unit which is found on the Aura 600, but it's a little bit more beefy. So the nice thing about the Cree XTE LEDs relative to some of the other ones is it uses a different type of dye extraction technology. You can learn more about that on Cree's website. So now moving on, we have the Tetra Flux LED system. This is the one that you guys saw was installed in that Honda Accord Coupe we just worked on. Just look at it from a few other angles here. Again, these have 4 Cree XPG2 LEDs. So you can see that they look slightly different than the L480 bulb. Pull that one back here. You can see that it's based on a, this one has a green ceramic base, and the second generation has more of a whitish gray ceramic base. These ones are more efficient, and they're brighter, while consuming less power. And again, this is all a black anodized aluminum. It's got a pretty good heat sink size on it, and this one we can run at 11 watts. So here we're going from about 4.8 watts to 6 watts to 9 watts to 11 watts. So last, but certainly not least, we have the L1800 system. So this is an 18 watt LED bulb, and by 18 watts that means that the actual LED packages that you see here are driven at a total of 18 watts of power. So that's true power consumption. There's a lot of very, very misleading kind of marketing tactics for automotive LEDs about power ratings. So for example, the L480 bulb has 4 Cree XPG LEDs, and they would call this a 5 watt chip. It's because the maximum power that the package can be run at, each individual LED can be run at, is 5 watts. So because it's got 4 of them, you take 4 times 5, they would call this a 20 watt LED bulb. But that's very misleading, because the actual power that the LEDs are run at are extremely limited by the thermal management system. And as you can see, because of the compact size of this bulb, it has a very limited thermal management system, and that's why it can only be run at 4.8 watts. But many other companies in the market would call this a 20 watt LED bulb, and that would be 100% false in terms of actual power consumption. And here, one of the unique things about the L1800 system and why it can actually be run at 18 watts of power is because the LED package is mounted directly to this aluminum heatsink here. And the LEDs are actually quite large. So what you're looking at inside of the package are 4 LED dies. They're large LED dies. Each die is larger than the Cree XPG dies. They're more on the scale of the XML emitters from Cree. And so if you want to do a die count, there's actually 8 dies. And this is an extremely bright system. It's the brightest one we have, significantly and noticeably brighter than the Tetra Flux system. So just to recap what we have here, we got 4.8 watts, 6 watts, 9 watts, 11 watts, and 18 watts. So depending on your budget and what you're looking to get out of a fog light system, we have plenty of options for you. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.